Thank you. Welcome to the WGTV podcast, also known as Table Talk, episode 9, I believe.
Yes.
Either 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here with me, Geoffrey Rooks, we have...
Jozi Hurt.
And Miranda Dawson.
All right. Now, without further ado, let's get this thing started.
Alrighty.
Actually, before we do, we will have a senior podcast on Wednesday. I mean, we have these seniors, but we're going to have all the seniors in here. So it'll be a 5-person podcast, our biggest ever. And we're just going to go over senior memories and stuff like that. So make sure you tune into that.
It'll be pretty emotional.
Yeah.
So tune in.
Other than that, let's get started.
Alright.
I'm not a big fan of talking about politics in general because it gets me worked up on how like some people can say like really whack stuff and everything. But this is a really good story, but it has sort of a whack twist to it. So if you guys don't know, North and South Korea have signed a treaty with each other. North Korea has declared nuclear disarmament, and Moon Jae-in, I think that's his name, the president of South Korea, and Kim Jong-un actually shook hands and crossed each other's borders, which is a very, very big deal. But South Korean President Moon wanted to recommend, like, he thinks that Trump should win the Nobel Prize for, like, easing tensions. And, I mean, I can't really dismiss it that easily because the South Korean president is a very first-hand person in this scenario. But, you know, as far as I've seen, everything may have been behind closed doors, but as far as I've seen, the U.S. really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
At least nothing that any other country would do. Being like the most I've seen between U.S. and Korea is Trump insulting the North Korean president, and then being harsh, being like, "Oh, if you nuke us, we'll nuke you," and that
was a mess.
That's a whole other thing. But like, what do you guys think on this? Like, everything, the whole shebang.
I don't think it's worth a Nobel Prize, honestly. I mean...
Right,
I just think the magnitude of his actions aren't really worthy of a Nobel Prize, especially with what information is out in the open. Sure, what may have been behind closed doors we don't know, and something might have happened that he did to make him Nobel Prize worthy, but, you know, the information that the nomination is based on is usually public information.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But it is really good that North Korea and South Korea are pledging to end hostilities with one another. That's a huge deal. And
because that's been how long?
Since the 70s, I think. It was when Harry Truman was president.
Yeah.
So
that was a little while.
Harry Truman, start rolling in your grave, buddy. Anyways, yeah, Jozi, you have any input on the situation?
I think that it's equivalent to like a certificate, not like a Nobel Prize for it.
Yeah.
That makes me think that we don't know any of the like inside story to it.
Yeah, that's fair. Moving on to something more controversial right now, surprisingly, is the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh.
The main person gathering controversy is Michelle Wolf, because she really went in hard at Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's the press secretary for the White House. going in on her personal looks and what she does, being like defending the president on like every stance, no matter what, just like blindly, from my view, because there are some things that you can't really defend, but she just defends anyway. And I guess that's sort of her job, but whatever. I remember she went after Ivanka, saying that she was like a fake champion of women of some sorts. And, I find at least some truth to what she says, because like from my view and what information I see. Did you guys see the dinner?
I did not.
I didn't see it.
I saw little fragments of it, and only with Michelle Wolf. But just on a broad scope, like, do you think that joking about a politician's family is off limits?
I feel like it should be. I mean, because I don't see a point in it. Because all it's going to do is just make things like...
Unless they're involved in political affairs themselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see it being off limits because, like...
Unless it involves them, then it shouldn't be brought up at all.
Okay. Because that is what Michelle Wolf is doing. Because Ivanka has been involved in a lot of political affairs, actually. Whether it's her involving herself or it's her father involving her and everything like that. It's like when everyone made fun of Barron at the inauguration, because he's, I think, 12 right now. But when everyone was making fun of him, I felt sort of like gross on the inside, because he's a little kid. He didn't ask to be in any of that. A, he's a minor. B, he's very sensitive at that age. C, it's not his fault.
Right.
So, I mean, like, what are you going to do then? But you do see a lot of comedians, like late night show hosts, Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers, they're joking about how ugly Eric Trump is. And to give them credit, he's super ugly. But, and then you have people like Donald Trump Jr. who's like, oh, he's so sleazy and he's dumb on what he says because he doesn't know what he's talking about and everything like that. Like, what about that scope?
I don't know. Like, I have stuff to say, but I can't I can't put it in words.
That's fair. Jozi, you have? Okay.
I
All right.
don't.
If you want my opinion, if they're adults and they're proudly making political statements, like endorsing this and that, they are up for grabs in terms of comedic jabs. But that's just my opinion.
Just leave the kids out of it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
like
leave the kids out of it.
It's not like they're doing anything. They
Also-
don't have control of
Also,
anything.
unless the wife is politically involved, don't involve the wife in some jokes. I get it. Joking about Melania is funny.
Yeah,
That much is fair. That much is fair. But I don't think it's really ethical.
It's not worth it.
I don't think it's morally worth it. But let's move on from that. Something non-political but very economical and very big news. Sprint and T-Mobile announced agreement to form new combined company. T-Mobile and Sprint are merging into another company.
Let me start off by saying I think that's going to be really beneficial, but it's really going to like trip people into it because it's like two lines together. Oh, like this is going to be great, but I feel like in the future it's not going to have as many benefits as.
That's the thing.
It'll be not.
Well,
amazing.
how do you think it won't have any benefits? Like, what kind of benefits are you talking?
Like, faster internet or like cheaper unlimited data or whatever.
Yeah.
Because when both of these individual companies advertise on TV and stuff, like they both have a lot of different benefits. But I'm saying in the future, I feel like they're gonna crash in the future.
That's fair, Miranda.
Deep down in the back of my head, I felt like the first time I heard about this, like just seeing, because my mom got an email about it because she goes through Sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were sitting in church and she got this email about it. And so I was like, I wonder if they're both like their prices are just like abnormally high in general.
Mm-hmm.
What if like people are stepping away from that? So they decided to combine it to try and like get lower prices to get more people in it. But I don't.
Okay. This may be not necessarily a shared stance, but I see nothing good coming from this merge.
No.
I see nothing
I feel
good
like
coming
it's
from
gonna
this
make it
merge.
so much
I'm glad
worse.
we all like agreed on that.
Because T-Mobile and Sprint are big companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with the regulations in place now, as much as they keep order to the market and is beneficial to the consumer, it doesn't really allow a lot of competition unless this small company gets enough money to like advertise and then more people start using this indie phone company. Mm-hmm. But these are two big companies that are well enough alone on their own to just be fine. And these are very rich. So to combine them, this would decrease the number of major phone companies to 3. Just like the amount of internet service providers. There's only Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T with ISPs. And then, let me see if it'll tell me, I'm sort of like skimming through this article real quick. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything really good coming out of like being closer to a monopoly, especially on something as vital as telephone communication or like internet usage, something like that. I think people who preach about the free market, like the people who are going for the end of net neutrality, should be enraged by this because we are getting closer to a monopoly. The one thing I don't like is when rich things get greedy.
Right.
Especially with corporations.
Yeah, because they don't have the. I don't see why they think getting greedy about anything is going to make it any better.
It'll bring in more money and will be beneficial to both companies, sure. That much is true. But they don't need to, and it'll be way worse for the consumer.
Yeah, because when they go to like decide like, because I know it's not going to be a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
They're going to like mess with these percentages as much as they possibly can to where it's equal. But in the end, one company is going to make so much more than the other without the other company even knowing it.
I think you have a great point because that's when you ask yourself, is it for the people or is it for the money?
Yeah.
Folks, some batteries are just not there when you need them.
Right.
I'm offended.
Miranda's mic died, so she has to go get new batteries for it. And we are back. So we were talking about Sprint and T-Mobile merging. Here's the thing. Capitalism is bad for this country. That's all I'll say.
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Anybody could have said that.
Not anybody, because not anybody just shares the same stances. Because people like to keep order to things.
Order just makes things worse.
Which is understandable. Okay, all right, wait. I want to move on.
Oh no.
And let me just say, I think this might be the best story to ever be featured on this podcast.
Obviously.
I have to cut that part out because I was just like, but let me read this headline from Sky News, and nothing can prepare you for this, so don't even bother preparing. Selfie monkey Naruto cannot sue for copyright. U.S. court rules.
What?
What a journey. This selfie monkey named Naruto. Okay, so over in somewhere in the U.S., this monkey named a macaque named Naruto snapped a photo with a toothy smile in 2011. We'll put the picture up. In 2011, using a camera belonging to David Slater. The British photographer wanted to have financial control of the photo, but an animal rights group, aka PETA, filed a lawsuit in 2015 that sought to give Naruto copyright over the selfie instead. Jeff Kerr, general counsel for PETA, aka People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, said Naruto should be considered the author and copyright owner, and he shouldn't be treated any differently from any other creator simply because he happens to not be human. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously ruled against Naruto and PETA after concluding that American copyright law does not expressly authorize animals to file copyright infringement suits. The fact that I have to say Naruto, because that's his name, it makes me want to end it virtually theme songs for Naruto. Sorry, I have to keep reading. In a separate opinion on the long-running case, Ninth Circuit Judge N. Randy Smith called PETA's lawsuit frivolous. That's an understatement. It said he would have dismissed the case on other grounds. The court also ruled that Mr. Slater was entitled to be compensated for his legal fees, and the district court is in the process of determining how much he will get. This guy, a macaque, took a picture on his camera, and he's like, I want to make some money off of this. This is nice. And then he's like, no, that's his creation. He should have copyright on it just because he's a macaque and he can't financially benefit from any of this. Oh my God! Can you imagine, like, another big YouTube controversy where it's like,
oh my God,
I'm pulling advertisers from non-human videos. it's like it reminds me of the experiment the government did to be like, let's try and teach dolphins to speak.
Oh my God!
Imagining a dolphin just like vlogging, being like, yo, what's up, guys? I'm in the ocean.
Again.
Yeah. You know, just swimming around.
Different location as before, but that don't mean anything to you because it all looks the same.
Anyways, my name's Orochimaru. I want every animal creator to be named after a Naruto character.
Why?
Everything. Oh my God. Do you think he has a rival macaque named Sasuke? That he takes like even teethier smiles?
No.
No? I want that to happen.
I don't know what to say.
God.
Smiles.
Yes.
Teethier.
That means show more teeth, Jozi.
And the guy doesn't even like make that much money off of it because it's just a picture, you know. The fact
picture's ridiculous looking though.
Yes, we'll show it. The fact
that is beautiful. That is true art.
You know what? It's I retract everything I said. Net neutrality needs to end because some people just don't need the internet. The internet just needs to be away from some people, okay?
Are you okay?
How about we limit net neutrality to specific people?
No. I don't mean that unironically. I'm saying that as a joke. I should have said that. But that's crazy. PETA stepped in for a macaque being like, that's his property. He should be the one to make money off of that. Nuh-uh.
It's Harambe 2.0.
No, it's not Harambe 2.0. It's Naruto. That's his name.
I think that we've come very far into the world.
No, we
and
haven't.
We're living the future days.
The future is now.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
This episode has become a train wreck, and I apologize.
Just like my life after high school!
Which reminds me, tune into the senior podcast
on Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
It's gonna be full of tears and smiles
and full
laughs.
of train wrecks after high school.
It's gonna be worth it. Completely worth it.
Any final thoughts?
Man,
All right, this has been. All right, we will see you next Wednesday. Not next Wednesday, this Wednesday. I'm gonna have to.
Geoffrey.
I'm so tired.
Next Wednesday, we're not gonna be here, so just wait.
I have to.
We'll be
cut
gone.
This episode is not usable in any fact of the word. Sorry. Goodbye, Andrew. You can stop recording. I'm editing this episode.